What is going on, everyone? Riddict here, and welcome to Off the Shelf Airguns. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Winchester 1977 XS by Daisy. It is a Daisy air rifle. Daisy licensed Winchester for this air rifle. Now, of course, you'll notice right off the bat that it is very much like an 880. However, the internals are a little different because this does have a lot more velocity than an 880. This one claims to get up to 1,000 feet per second with alloy. So, it comes with a 4x32 scope. The scope isn't all that great, but if you're just using it for backyard plinking, I think it'll be just fine for you. If you're going to actually use this to deal with some small game, which you can with this one, I'd get yourself a better scope. But here it is. You can see that the receiver and everything is just like an 880. However, you got your thumb hole here in the stock, which I really like that. Your pump arm is a little bit thicker than a normal 880, and for good reason, because it actually takes a lot more effort to pump this. When you get up to that 9, when you get up past 5 pumps, it really takes some effort. It's not like an 880 where you can just go bam, bam, bam. So, and then you'll see the forestock here is a lot thinner than an 880, which I actually like. Got a nice grip on there, and yeah. So there it is, pellet and BB, .177 caliber. Of course, if you ain't going to use the scope, you do have some iron sights, buckhorn sight on the back, fixed sight on the front. Your buckhorn sight is adjustable for elevation and windage. So, I haven't really sighted this scope in, so it should be interesting to try and hit anything with it. But let's go ahead and try a few shots here. Alright. Oh yeah. Oh. Definitely a lot more effort. There we go. It's windier and all heck out here, so I'll be lucky to hit anything. Nope. Now, of course, loading it can be a little tricky, even with a pellet pen, when you have a scope on it. Without the scope, it's a lot easier. Oh. Alright. There we go. There we go. Now, if you're looking for this, it is off. You can get this off the shelf. You can get this off the shelf. However, it's a little pricier than an 880. These days, an 880 runs you about $40, $50, sometimes $60 if it comes with a scope and whatnot. But this is about $90 to $100 for this, so a little bit more. Now, a few years back when this first came out, it was closer to the $70, $80 range, but the 880s were also a little lower in the $35 to $40 range, and those prices have gone up on 880s, and so this kind of went up with it. So about $90 to $100 for this. But I mean, you're getting a much higher powered rifle. I mean, it ain't astronomically more higher powered, but it's definitely higher powered. There's some different things going on here. The rollers on your pump arm, I think they're square, not round. There's some strange things going on in here. But definitely a different gun, even though it does use the 880 framework. So, How about that? I didn't even sight this scope in. It's not doing too bad. Not doing too bad at all. Oh yeah, 10 pumps. Definitely a tough go on 10 pumps. Alright. Okay. Now, like I said, you can find these off the shelf. If you look at places like Tractor Supply, you can definitely find it there. Or online, of course. But if you want to go into a store, I found this one at Tractor Supply. So, very cool. And quite honestly, having that thumb hole for the grip and this thinner forestock, I really like that on this. You know, because you still have that 880 feel, but I really like how this feels better than an 880, and I love 880s, don't get me wrong, but really like how this feels. So here's the verdict. If you're on a budget and you're not trying to spend $100, go ahead and go with the 880. It's not going to do you wrong. The 880 is perfectly fine for your needs. So don't feel like, oh well, I got to get this. Don't feel like that. The 880 is going to do you just fine. 880 is a great gun. But let's say you had an 880, or you do have an 880, or you had one when you were a kid, but you want something a little more punch, and you do like the idea of having that thumb hole there, which I love that, then I'd go with this one. Just know that, you know, the pumping action does take a little more effort, especially after you get past the fifth pump. And but for all intents and purposes, I love this. I love it. Let's take another look at it here, up close. Of course, you know, it's not super heavy. About the same weight as an 880. It's very similar. But for whatever reason, it just feels, I don't know, it feels more solid than an 880. You know how 880s, they kind of feel a little flimsy here and there. This feels really solid, and I just love how this feels. So, yeah, just wanted to share that with you real quick in case you might be interested. The Winchester 1977 XS by Daisy. And I dig it. So with that said, I'll catch you all down the road.